The Premier League is back, and so are we. We've had a little bit of a break, but now we're back. We're going to give you our predictions for this Premier League season.
Boom. All right, we're in there. We're going to get straight into it. I think we should kick it off. We're going to start from the bottom, going up, as most people do. It just leaves a little bit of the temptation, I guess.
We need that view time. Stay
for the
here.
good stuff, you know what I mean? 20th. Let's just do our bottom three at one time.
Yeah.
I think it'll just save us some time. Our bottom three, the bottom three I have chosen is Bournemouth, Fulham, and Brentford. And the reason I've gone with these three teams,
Okay.
Bournemouth is shit. They're going to get knocked out. Okay, that's just flat. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think Bournemouth have any chance at all. I think they're just another Norwich, up and down, up and down.
Spoiler, I also have them 20th, but I agree.
Fulham, though, I think are a decent side, but I just look at the whole rest of the competition and all the other teams, and I just don't see Fulham even. I don't see it. They may just edge out of the relegation, but I don't see that. I don't see it, and that's why I have them in there. And then the last team, Brentford. Brentford losing Eriksson, they're just getting worse. They didn't really make any. They haven't made any improvements. At least so far, they haven't really made any notable improvements, to my knowledge. And Brentford they kind of were hanging on by their coattails last season. I feel like it's their time.
My bottom three looks kind of similar. Bournemouth, obviously, like I said, 20th.
Yeah.
Not a very good team.
They're
I
shit.
agree with everything that you said. 19th, I've gone for Southampton.
Boom.
Don't believe that they're going to stay up this year.
That's insane. I actually have Southampton just outside of my relegation because I also think I think Fulham could be one of those teams. Fulham may be getting out of there and Southampton drops in, but Southampton, like you said, they're not making any signings.
They're really not. Their best players are getting older. They're really not helping themselves out in the transfer market this summer. And then in 18th, I've gone for Fulham as well.
Fulham
have only made 2 signings so far as of recording in the games start this weekend. So, Mbabu, one of my favorite players of all time, signed for Fulham.
Great
gonna
on
do
FIFA.
bits, guarantee it. Gonna tear apart some of the left backs.
Anthony Robinson, the actual left back on the team.
And Anthony Robinson. Those two, I think, are gonna be pretty decent this year, but
hopefully
the team itself is not good enough.
No, hopefully
I don't think.
Anthony Robinson can play himself into a position to where if they do get relegated, which they might, he can play himself into a position to where he can get bought by a team that has stayed up for a bargain for them.
Yeah.
So like anywhere between like 10 mil or something for him.
Yeah.
Something like that. A cheap bargain at left back for a team that does stuff. That's if they go down. I don't want them to go down, but we're just giving our honest opinions here.
Right.
17 going up. We'll just give you the next few. I in 17th have Southampton. Like I said earlier, they're just we've already discussed. I don't think their good players are getting older. Their recruiting isn't been very good, and I just see the trouble for them this season.
Trouble for sure. I have Brentford in 17th. I mean, just like what you were saying about them, I think they have just enough quality to stay up, but I do see it going down to the end of the year. I mean, Tony is just going to be absolutely starved for service this year. They've lost Eriksson.
Yeah.
They have made a couple of signings, but not enough to really maintain their position last year, especially, or to compete in the Prem this year.
Yeah, I really think the reason I kept Southampton just out of it was because Southampton last season, the beginning of the year before January, they were kicking ass.
And they have the Premier League experience.
If they could, they don't even have to redo that form all season. Because if they did that, they could be like top
They just
10
need to go
or
on
something.
2 runs.
They just need to be a little bit more consistent, and I feel like if they can find that, they'll find the way out. Next team I have right above them, 16th, Everton. I went with Everton. Everton will, again, I think, just creep out. I don't think they'll have as much of a headache as last year with the relegation, but I also might be wrong. Everton, again, could be one of those surprise teams who we have down there who dropped down because they just really haven't been improving. Anthony Gordon is their best player, and he's still flopping left and right. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, injury-prone all the time. Richarlison's gone. Frank Lampard, this will be his first full season.
First
forever.
full season after taking
First
over
full
Ascot.
season in the Premier League that's already so insanely competitive. I just don't see them doing better than that.
There's going to be growing pains definitely for them, but my 16th spot, I went with Nottingham Forest. I think that they are going to be good enough to stay up this year, but I don't know that all of their signings, because they have made so many, I don't know that all of their signings are all going to gel together and fit right away. I think it is going to take them some time to establish themselves as a decent Premier League team this year, and obviously being back in the Prem in so long, it's nice to see them in here, and I want to see them stay. So that's why I went with them at 16.
It's funny because I actually have Forest right above Everton at 15. I put them there for the exact same reasons. They've made some good signings. A lot of foreign players brought in, like a few other teams in the Prem. But yeah,
Including,
they look to.
Shit, I fucked it up. Including Jesse Lingard, signed on a free. Not a bad move.
Yeah, they look to be like they'll stay up. I feel like they'll be the one relegation promotion team from last season who does stay up. And above them, I have my Leeds, my number 2 Prem team, Leeds. I think the signings they made are insane. Well, obviously I think they're insane. They're the GOAT Americans. But I think from the preseason games, and I know a lot of people don't like to look too much into preseason games. Preseason games, they look good. Bamford back healthy. Yeah, they lost Rafinha and Calvin Phillips, but they're investing very good. Sinistera, Adams, Aronson, more to come, I believe. Especially if there's talks of Jack Harrison leaving for like 40 mil or something. Put that in the bag. I would prefer them to not sell Jack Harrison because it's just they've already sold 2 really important pieces in their starting 11 in Phillips and Rafinha. So taking out Jack Harrison again, that just wouldn't be good. So I have them up there. I think they'll have a definitely a better season than last.
15th for myself, Crystal Palace. I don't think that they're going to improve really at all on last year. They're just another one of those teams that have kind of stagnated, that other lower table teams have made these improvements, and I don't really see them having too many differences from last year, so I kind of have them at 15th as a floater. Because
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Because they could finish 12th or they could finish 18th. So
it's actually insane because I actually have Palace as my next team. So every team you've been putting, I've been putting them one above. It's kind of funny. I have Palace because I think they will get just a little bit better. I think Patrick Vieira with the team they have, I don't remember what place they finished last season, but I have them here finished 12th?
13th.
Yeah. So I think they'll do all right. Again, the competition is just so insane with all the teams I have above them. I just think they're just edging them out. Palace, though, definitely improving. I think Patrick Vieira will get them right.
My 14th spot, I've got Brighton. I think they're going to not be as good as they were last year. I mean, they've lost Basuma. He's one of the best players that they've had in some time. I don't think that they're going to really light the world up again this year. Lamptey, I think, is going to have a really good season, and a little foreshadowing maybe for later in the video. We'll see, but I think that they're going to be pretty decent, but I don't think that they're going to be as good or as surprising as they were last year, finishing 12th.
I think that's a little surprising. I think Brighton are good. And you're right, them losing Basuma is crucial. But going up for me in that spot, I have Leicester. The reason I have Leicester so low is because Leicester are fucking shit. And the reason I tell you that is because they're about to lose Tielemans. I think there's a good chance they could lose Madison to Newcastle because Newcastle have come in with what, 40 to 50 million?
Yeah, 40 to 50
million. $50 million pound bid. And if Madison's smart, I would do that.
He's taking it.
Loyalty to Leicester maybe, but if you want to go off of, if you want to have the best chance of
winning trophies,
being successful in any way, really. I don't want to say winning trophies, meaning I don't think they're going to win an insane amount of trophies in his time if he were to go there.
I think in the next 5 years he's got a better shot than he does at Leicester.
He's definitely got a better shot.
Even
with
though
all
they
the
did just win
recruitment
the
they're going to
FA
be
Cup
having. Yeah, I think that Newcastle could win an FA Cup in 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he would love that. I'm sure, and all of those Newcastle players would love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and losing Tielemans is insane. Vardy's just getting older. So I see them having like a really shit year. Like I think they've been slowly going down, but I think this year is about to be like a kick in the ass for them.
I could see that. I'm not super high on them either, but in 13th for me, I have Everton. I think they will be better than they were last year.
That's a bit high.
I completely can see them getting relegated this year. But I can also just for some reason see Frank Lampard actually doing well with this team. Dele Alli playing better.
Taking them like from a Brighton
improving.
situation
Exactly.
to being good for that.
And I'm not saying that they're going to finish 8th or anything like that.
Right, he said
but
13.
I think that they have brought in some good players, maybe a little bit overspent, maybe on, Dwight McNeil, players here and there, but I think if they can get back Ganagay from PSG, that is a huge move for them, and I think that'll just put them in the right direction. So I'm higher on them than Tanner is, but still, not getting carried away.
Getting Gay would be huge for them. Next up, above Leicester, I have Aston Villa. I went with Villa there. I think Gerrard's getting the team together. The spots 13 through like 8 are kind of weird for me. I feel like those were like the hardest parts. Those right in the middle because
Agreed.
Those teams could be literally anywhere.
Any order
It could,
of those
from 15 to 9
is really up in the air.
Up and down. So I went with Villa there because I think he's getting it together. I don't see them doing anything crazy. I think it'd just be a really stagnant year for them.
I could agree with that. In my 12th place spot, I've gone for Wolves. I don't think that they are going to get, once again, any better. If they lose Ruben Neves, which I don't think they will because they've really priced him out of a move from anywhere, that would be absolutely catastrophic. But they just seem like they're getting worse and worse and worse every year. Finishing 11th last year, I don't think they'll be able to do it. But, we'll see.
11th place, I picked Aston Villa. I think Gerrard is doing okay with that team. I think I fucking hate Gerrard. Fuck Gerrard. But if we're just being honest here, I think he's improved. They've got some good players in. If they can, I don't know how much signings they've made this window.
I really don't think they've signed many players, but a lot of their players that they had brought in the season before are really starting to settle in. Like Coutinho, still great player.
Yeah.
Just going to improve.
Ings is still there.
Just going to improve.
That's why
the defense is starting to grow more.
So they're right there in the middle. That's why I have them at 11th.
They're on the cusp for sure. I've also got Villa in 11th. Same thing. I don't think that they've improved a whole lot, but the team itself will get better, stronger, more used to Gerrard's system. So I think that they'll do pretty well, but not quite break into the top 10.
Top 10, red alert. First of all, 20 through 11 for both of us. Mine, Trevin's. You can see it. So, now the nitty gritty. 10th place, I have Wolves. I put Wolves there because I did see them go downhill from 2 seasons ago to last season. But I do think this season, I don't think they'll increase per se. I guess it is a technical increase going from 11 to 10. But at the same time, I think they're a very established team. They're a very good unit. Jose Sa in goal is insane. If they can keep their players, add in a player or two here or there, whatever, recruit something, I think they're just so structurally solid, and they're almost guaranteed a point every game. Oh, excuse me. Guaranteed a point every game. So I think they'll solid 10 for them.
I can see that for sure. Really, like we've said previously, these next couple of spots and these previous spots are really interchangeable. But for 10, I've kind of got a big shot here, and it pains me to say, but I think it is going to be Leeds. I think Leeds will be at 10. I think Rafinha, yes, is going to be a big loss. But if you look at it last year, he was not statistically as great as he is on the eye test. Statistically, goals and assists, he did do what about a mid-level team, lower-level team would want from their attackers, but I think Aronson is an improvement in a system that really fits them. I don't think he's better than Rafinha by any stretch, but I think that some of the players that they've lost and then replaced are not going to be much of a dip down, and I have confidence in Jesse Marsch as a coach that he's going to be able to really take that team to the next level.
To that point, though, Rafinha's job last season, he was like a right wing back.
Yeah, he wasn't right forward or anything like that.
The teams, their availability of players last season was terrible. They had so many injuries all season. It was insane. It's actually a surprise that they're still in the Premier League. But yeah, he didn't have. I guarantee when he goes over to Barcelona, I don't want to say he's going to start every game, but I think he's going to give Dembele a run for his money.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Moving on to 9th. Giving my credit to Brighton as Trevin has discredited Brighton.
Damn.
I don't understand why you would throw them under the bus that low.
Graham Potter's a good coach.
I think Graham Potter is a good coach. I think they're I can't remember the two defensive midfielders they have off the top of my head, but Cancelo and
McAllister.
No,
he's an attacker.
I can't remember his name, but they've got two solid midfielders in there, even though Bissouma is gone. But I think Brighton as a unit, kind of like Wolves. That's why I have Wolves there. It's just they're just such a good team, and they don't have the most flashy individuals. Like their striker's Malpe or whatever from France.
Yeah.
Like not a flashy guy. I think he scored a few bangers.
But
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, but he gets it done. Brighton, I think they'll get it done. That's why I have them 9.
My 9th place team is Leicester. I think they will keep Tielemans, and that is the only reason that I have them in 9th. If he leaves, I could see them falling to 13th.
Are United not going to buy him?
I don't believe so. I don't.
Would you not want United to buy him?
I would take him immediately.
Okay, I just wanted to hear that part.
What I want and what Joel Glazer, that fucking idiot, want are two completely different things. I want a successful team. He wants to make money.
Yeah.
So if he stays, which I think he will, because I don't think Arsenal are going to go for him at the end of the window. If he does stay, I think they get 9th.
Yeah, it's going to be surprising to see if he stays. I just don't see why he would for his sake. Like, he's 25 still, prime of his career. Leicester players, all the good ones have already left. So, I don't know. Going up the list, and we're at 8th now, and this is actually insane for me to say. I think they could finish 10th. Or 9th. But I'm going to put them in 8th, and it's Newcastle. Because Newcastle, signing's good, got a lot of money. The positivity around the club is insane right now. It's not just the signings. It's just the whole atmosphere. Everybody sees a good future. They know it's in a grasp, and they can fight for it for sure.
They're happy because their pockets are full of that oil money, but honestly, can't blame them. Take the bag while you can get it. Yeah. My 8th place team, I've gone for West Ham. I don't think that they're going to do as good as they did last year. Kind of a consistent thing. I think some teams obviously will improve. Some teams will digress. But having Europa League football is not an easy thing to do when you're not used to playing European football during the weeks and playing on the weekends. There's so many more games that you have to factor in when you have European football that I think they don't have the squad quite be able to hold on into the Prem and do as well as they did last year.
Okay. I can see that. I put West Ham 7th. The reason I put West Ham 7th is because same reasons. I feel like they'll get the 7th is the Conference League spot, right?
Yes.
I think they will get that. But yeah, having all those games is crucial. I actually think that if they didn't have that, they would finish
6th
higher. Yeah, 6th, maybe 5th as a stretch. But 6th place, they could have got that, I think, without the European. But yeah,
I could definitely see West Ham finishing 6th if they didn't have European football. But at the same time, they will. So I think it's going to be too tough for them to finish 7th, like you think. So that's why I went with Newcastle in 7th. I think that like you've said, the whole vibe there is just really high right now. Eddie Howe is a good coach. I really rate him. I think he's going to do well. Bruno in the midfield, he's a great signing from the season before, and I think that they've just continued to make that squad better. Not just the first 11, but the whole squad overall has been improved.
I know I'm going to contradict myself for putting Newcastle in 8th and saying that they might not finish that high. They could finish I think Brighton and Wolves, more so Brighton, could finish above them. I think that, like we've said, the atmosphere is crazy, but I also think that the hype is a little too much, and they need to pump the brakes and realize that
it all doesn't come
takes
in one time. Yeah.
And you could fucking sign Mbappe tomorrow. That's amazing, but
that doesn't guarantee the league.
It doesn't guarantee you anything. It has to work together. It has to fit in a system. All those players have to come together. So we'll see if they can do that, obviously. Okay, everything over again. Now is the big time. Top 6, Champions League football, Europa League football, where everybody wants to be. 6th place. I've gone for Arsenal. Who have you gone for at 6th?
I've gone for Chelsea.
Chelsea! Ah, that's crazy. Let me tell you why I chose Arsenal. That's insane. Oh my god. See, the reason I've chosen Arsenal is because I think their signings, they've made good signings. Gabriel Jesus, quality player. Quality player. Zinchenko, quality player. They've probably made some other ones, but those are the only 2 I care about. So Arsenal are a decent side. I think their lack of experience is what's going to be could be a slight downfall for them. I think they're a really young team. They're a good team, really young team. They could be, if they stuck together, they could be doing some very serious business in the Premier League in 2-3 years' time. But right now,
it's not their moment.
I don't think it's their moment, and that's why I've gone for them at 6. I also think Arteta is a good coach. I think he's a little... I don't think he can bring Arsenal to that elite level just yet, though, in this stage of his managerial career. Maybe later on down the line if he learns a few more tips or tricks. But what we've seen so far, based on that, given everything, that's why I have him 6th.
I can see that. I mean, I won't spoil anything too far, but I don't have them too far off.
But Chelsea?
6th place, I have Chelsea. I think towards the end of the season, you kind of started to see the wheels fall off at Chelsea. You saw some of those players start to stagnate in their growth and their development. And yes, they have signed Sterling, who I think will be a good signing for them this year. I think Sterling will do pretty well for them. But they don't have a striker that they can rely on. And we saw City able to deal with it. But the thing with City is they have 4, 5, 6 players that all fill in and rotate in that top 3, that it's not a problem for them. Chelsea are actively trying to loan out or get rid of Werner. They have already got rid of Lukaku. Yes, they brought in Sterling. We all know Sterling's not a striker. Yes, they have Kai Havertz still, who I think will have a breakout season. I think that dude will have a great season this year. But the one thing that's really holding them back, I think, this year is going to be their age in midfield and their age in defense. Azpilicueta may leave. Thiago Silva's 37. Rudiger's gone. Christensen is gone. Chalobah is still a kid. That defense is not where it needs to be, to me. Now, their fullbacks, great. Possibly the best pairing in the league, bar City.
Thank you.
Honestly, I see them having a decent season, but Tuchel just doesn't give me all the confidence in the world. And I know I sound dumb as fuck saying that because he's won the Champions League before, but cup competitions are different than the league. The league requires so much mental stability and strength and
over such a long time.
Over so long that I don't think he will have that all season.
I think you make some really great points there about that.
We did see them sign Koulibaly, who will be good, but once again, he's 31. That doesn't mean everything, but that defense, they're going to need some help. In the midfield is just getting older. Conte, Jorginho, they both have their injury problems, so I don't know where they go from
Devil's
here.
advocate, though. We're talking about one season.
That's true.
We're talking about one season. We're not talking about the next 3 or 4 with the age. We're talking about just one season. So, I mean, I think 6th is a bit low for Chelsea. But we'll continue anyway. 5th place. Who have you gone for? You go first this time.
Arsenal. I kind of alluded to it earlier when Tanner was talking about them in 6th. I have them 5th. I think they'll finish exactly where they were last year. I don't think Arteta will keep his job. Much like you, I don't really rate him. But I do think that team has so much promise and so bright of a future ahead of them that I could see someone like Saka scoring 15 to 20 goals this year. With Jesus, who I think will score 10 to 15, I think Saka could have a breakout year. But they're not, I don't think, going to be good enough to get that 4th spot just because of their whole squad.
So you think over the course of the season that Arsenal will be better than Chelsea?
Yes.
I think
Chelsea,
personally,
in moments,
I think that's insane.
In moments, I believe Chelsea will show.
See, I think the opposite.
That they're.
I think the opposite. I think in moments, Arsenal will show how good they can be. But I think their consistency will be even less than Chelsea's. I think you could say Chelsea. I think Arsenal's highs will be higher, but their lows will be lower.
And see, that's a very Arsenal thing for them the last couple of years. I definitely can see that. Like I said, I don't rate Arteta very much. I think he's a decent manager, but he's not going to be someone that wins the Prem to me.
Not yet, at least. He could in the future. I think he could. I think he's getting it together with Arsenal. I think it would take a bit more time, a few more years.
But does he get that?
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't get that time. He will not get that time.
He's had the time.
Yeah,
he'll have given him.
But I think if he can, he should go to Spain, go somewhere else, learn a few tricks, maybe come back, or maybe be successful somewhere else. I think he could. I think he has the potential to be a good manager, but I don't think he has the capabilities of bringing Arsenal to an elite level this year.
I agree. You see Villarreal, Unai Emery left
somebody
Arsenal.
Like that. Yeah.
Goes to Villarreal, they win the Europa League. Next year, they're in the semi-final of the Champions League.
Almost knocking out Liverpool. 45 minutes away from knocking out Liverpool.
Great season for them. I can see that, but I have Arsenal in 5th.
My 5th place, Manchester United. Manchester United, I know Trevin's got Man U in top 4, but if we're just being honest,
obviously,
we just have to be real. Man United, the problems they have got going on right now is so deep. It's deeper than the squad, deeper than the 11. Like we've known it for a while. They have some issues in the backroom staff. Yeah, they've been making changes, I'm guessing, you know what I mean? Ten Hag coming in, setting some rules, some things like that. But I just think the disruption with Ronaldo, those things going on, that affects the locker room, and you can't tell me it doesn't. You can't tell me people are going, oh yeah, Ronaldo's fucking leaving before the game's over. And I get it, it's preseason, everybody's like hop off his dick, but yeah, like he left the game before it even started. And the fact that
before it ended.
Before it ended, the fact that Man United haven't commented on it and said that he was allowed, have they? No. So the fact that they haven't commented on it and said that he was allowed to go is a little bit suspect. But at the same time, United are improving slowly though. That's why I can't put them in 4th, but that's why I have them 5th. Last year they finished 5th or 6th? 6th. I give them 5th this year. I don't think they get top 4 for the reasons I've said. They're still piecing it together, and I think this is Ten Hag's building year. Next year maybe, but this year I don't know.
And then we'll just jump into top 4.
Yeah.
Now the really, really big dogs. Fuck, that was dumb.
No, I got it. Top 4 now. Here we go. Champions League spots. The big boys in the league. 4th place. Who you got?
United. The reason that I have United there is I think they have made the improvements. I'm a fan, obviously, but I tried to look at this from an outside perspective, and I think that this team finished 2nd 2 years ago in a kind of depleted rest of table season, but at the same time, they did finish second for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There have been improvements, I don't think enough. As a United fan, I want to see someone brought into the attack, even if Ronaldo stays. I want to see 2 midfielders brought in. I want to see improvement in consistency every week. And I think that's something that we might just be able to get with Ten Hag.
Mm-hmm.
I've already seen it in the preseason, and yes, it's preseason. I completely understand that. I'm not getting too carried away.
And adding to that, Man United at the beginning of every season are phenomenal.
Yeah.
The last 2 seasons, at the very beginning preseason, the first 5 games or so, fucking cracked.
And yeah, they generally start pretty well, but I think Ten Hag has the intensity and the charisma to really keep the team going and stay focused. And especially when you bring in players that you know that are going to be those nose on the grindstone, hard-nosed players that are going to be there week in and week out, giving their 100%. Malacia at left back is a good signing. I rate that for $12 million. I think he's going to be a class. Martinez, I think he's going to be exactly what we need.
Yeah.
Now, against a team maybe with taller strikers, with bigger players, he might struggle. But he doesn't have to play in every game. And then we move to the midfield. Eriksen, we all know, great player, historic, one of the best players in the Prem for the last decade. Obviously, didn't play the last couple years, but in general, great player. Hopefully, we get De Jong. Hopefully, we get other players, but
definitely made some improvements. United have, but 4th place, I'm giving it to Chelsea. And like I've said earlier, I think him putting Chelsea 6 is a little crazy. I think people are getting a little too carried away with Chelsea's Chelsea's lacking. I think they are lacking in center back and in an attack, but I do think Tuchel is I think he's a good enough manager for this season at least to keep them in the Champions League spot. I think they'll get more players in. I know they'll make more signings. I'm almost 100% sure they will make more signings. What positions, I don't know. But I know Chelsea, probably center back, like we've discussed. I see them making more signings for sure. So that's why I think they have the cohesive. They're cohesive enough, and that group has been together long enough to scrape out a 4th place spot. 3rd place, I have gone for Tottenham.
I have as well.
Ooh, see, Tottenham have improved insanely. Conte making them run their ass off.
Not only have they improved, but I think Conte being there for even longer now really just makes them focus and really intense.
I think Conte will have his effect on that team. I really think this Premier League season will be a lot closer than last for sure. I think Tottenham will close the gap. I feel the gap from Tottenham in 3rd place to the 1st place team could be less than
15?
8 points.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 8-9 points, 3 games or so.
Yeah.
3 games. I think it could be a 3-game league.
3-point swing, or a 3-game swing.
Yeah, that's how it's been the last few seasons. It seems like really close games like that. So that's what I'm saying. Tottenham just gotten better. The Conte effect, Richarlison, all their new signings. I think they'll probably beat us again this year, like they always fucking do for some reason.
Yeah, I don't think that they've made one signing that is, a marquee signing that really puts them over the top. I think they've rounded their squad out super well.
Yeah.
Basuma, we've talked about him already.
And I think that's what Conte wanted to do was round out the squad and make it his own, and that's why like we've said, 3rd place.
Brought in Perisic and Jed Spence, who I think I would have loved at right back, man. I think, is going to be so good this year. I rate him so highly. He's going to be so good in my eyes. I think he's going to be way, way above where Serge Aurier and Doherty were the last 2 seasons. Oh my God, yeah. I didn't even think about him because he's that bad.
Yeah.
But I agree that they're going to be in 3rd.
Yeah. Top two, City are winning the league. So
unfortunately, I do have to agree.
If I'm being honest with myself, this season, I could also see Liverpool winning the league. If I'm being honest, I think they have a better chance of winning this league this year than they did last year.
And last year,
last year, yeah. Point. So take that as you will. But I also think City will win. The reason I think City will win is because City have made these improvements in the right spots. I think part of me is just trying not to go off this Community Shield that we've just seen. It's just one game.
Yeah.
You can't judge the season off that one game. And I also think the reason we'll get first is, let's say Haaland doesn't work out. Let's say what everybody wants to happen to us happens, right? Haaland doesn't work out. You know what Pep's going to do? Go right back to what we were doing last year. And you know what? I'm completely okay with that because I know we could still win the league like that. Maybe not a pure number 9. Alvarez, though, coming in. All these new signings, Calvin Phillips, our squad has just gotten more rounded out and better. Our backups have gotten better. Our whole squad depth. So I see and Haaland is going to go off. I have a very good feeling. I'm not going to say he's going to be top scorer. I don't think he'll be top scorer. But I think Haaland in the Prem alone will get 16, 17 goals. I bet. I could see it. I think he'll do it. So, with all that being said, like I said, I could see Liverpool taking up the first spot because Liverpool have gotten gotten better, and they're just an amazing team. And when we do these at the beginning of the season now, it's so hard to separate these two teams, even though I'm a fan of one, and I think that's honestly why I put them above. But it's just separating these two teams is so hard because of how amazing they both are.
That's true. Did you hear that? That's true. I mean, I think that Liverpool haven't really gotten that much better in my eyes. They've lost Mane and replaced him with Carvalho from Fulham, and obviously it's not a like-for-like replacement in any means.
Yeah.
But Mane leaving, I think, is going to be a really big deal. I think he is just such a great player, and he's so unselfish too, that you see players like Salah, who I wouldn't say he's a selfish player, but not anywhere near as giving in terms of team play as Mane was.
It's insane to say that too, because Salah has a lot of assists, but that's just honestly, you could say that's him being in the right place at the right time to pass it off, tap it over to somebody.
And I agree. But to me, City are just too good. I mean, they've signed the best young striker in the world, who I think will have 15 goals in the Prem like he thought. But that's only if he doesn't miss the sitters, unlike he did in the Community Shield. Yeah. But we won't talk about that.
Putting that on, though, saying that, I'm kind of... God, it feels so weird saying this. I'm kind of glad it happened. That's saying it now, putting it in perspective, because we already lost the fucking game, so I can just say that. But
if it had to happen, you want to happen in the Community
Shield. To take
Shield.
Positives out of it, that's the game for it to happen. That happens. And you know what fucking gets me going is after that miss, bro, he just had a devious-ass smile. Like he was about to fucking kill everybody on that pitch. And it just made me I know that next time and the time after, he wants it. And you can see it. He has that confidence, that Ibra mentality of
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
I'm just
same
that good. I'm just that good.
He's just,
and you know what? He just laughed it off. He's seen it and he said, you know what? Yeah, it's a joke to him. It's a literal joke. He's going to go crazy.
And you know what? Too, in that game, that was in the 93rd or 94th minute.
Right in the game, so it's already over. We're down 3-1. It didn't fucking matter.
It wouldn't have been that big.
It's not
of a
like
deal,
we'd have
honestly.
tied it up. Yeah.
So it's not like he missed a chance to tie it up or send him into extra time or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be good this year, and unfortunately, I think City will win the league.
Ending it off, top goal scorer. I have gone for Mohamed Salah.
Gone for Harold Kane.
I've gone for Mohamed Salah. I think Harry Kane's a good shout. I really didn't think too much about him. I think Mohamed Salah is going to get it just because he's just so good.
Somebody's going to have to make up for those Mane goals.
Yeah, I think Salah will have. I don't think he'll have his best goal scoring league campaign because he's already had like 32 goals or something in a season. I think Salah will end up this season with about 24 to 25 goals, and just because he's just so good, man, and he's so good. He makes us look stupid as fuck every time we play him.
Makes everybody look like that.
He's just insane. That left foot. He's a goal scoring machine. He knows how to score.
I'm going for Harold Kane. Like I
can
said,
also see that being it too.
I think them adding Richarlison actually only helps him in terms of his goal scoring, because it doesn't matter if he has the most opportunities. As long as he gets a chance, he's going to score.
Yeah.
And I think Richarlison is an unselfish player, and a lot of times, just like Son, to where they will get their chances, but I think Harry Kane is just such a lethal finisher that those chances that he does get, he's taking them up every time. And I think this system, everything about this is built around him, and I think it'll be really, really good for him this year.
You know what's insane though is I could see him getting Golden Boot, but I can really see him, and it's insane me saying this with Kevin De Bruyne on my team. I could see him getting the assists because he's just that
far off 2 years ago.
He's just that good. He can just do everything, and like you said, I guarantee Son, Richarlison, and Kane dropping back in like a 10 roll, and then pushing up once he can to eventually get a shot on. But I that's a good shout for sure. Oh shit!
Finally, we'll jump into most improved player. This is kind of our own thing that one player we think will, make a leap this year or really break out. And for me, I kind of feel like I'm cheating. I've gone for two players, but I've gone for Saka because, like I said earlier, I think he's going to have a breakout year even if Arsenal don't do that great. And I've also gone for Lamptey. I think Lamptey will show, once again, everyone knows how good of a fullback he is.
Yeah.
But I think this season he will take that extra step to potentially be entered in to that upper echelon of fullbacks that we have in the Prem.
I could see that for sure. I think Lamptey's a really good shot, and I know what you're saying. Like, we already know Lamptey's good, but this could be the season where Lamptey puts himself on a pedestal that has people coming after him for 50, 60 million next summer. He's insane. I've gone for Kovacic from Chelsea, and the reason I've gone for Kovacic from Chelsea is because I feel like he's been the type of player. I'm not reflecting on Chelsea, I think, or how they'll perform, but Kovacic himself, I think he will have an established role in that midfield this season. I think him next to I think it'll be Conte. We already know how good Conte is, but I think Jorginho has lost his mojo, and at least in that Chelsea team, I think he's lost his mojo. And I think Kovacic and Conte, we saw it against City. Those two are insane. Kovacic running, Conte running. So this is why I see, again, kind of like Lamptey. We know how good he is. We know he can be really effective. But I think this season, he had it in Real Madrid, came to Chelsea, it was a downgrade, going crazy. I think this season will be his.
That's our full predictions for this year, 20-1, plus a couple extra tits and bits here.
Here's all good
for you. Here you go. After you see that, here's your meme.
Boom.
We'll see you next week. Go fuck yourself.